From the friendly confines of Wrigley Field, we're set for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The weather keeps changing. Very hot temperatures and the wind blowing straight out to center field. As the Giants and Cubs play the rubber game last night, the Cubs knocked San Francisco out of first place in the West. Hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. 3 runs combined in 2 games. And the theme of the series is, if you're the Cubs, you got to score before you get into the Giants bullpen. And the Giants offense has not enjoyed facing the Cubs starters.
You know, we anticipated this series was going to be all about the pitching because the Cubs have been very good recently. The Giants have been very good all year, and it has certainly played out that way. You see what the Giants relievers have done in this series, and to take it back to the beginning of the month of September, they've only surrendered 2 runs in 48 innings. The Cubs starters have just been fantastic recently.
Ryan Dempster, over his last 2 starts, has not allowed a run, and that continues a nice trend in the final month.
Yeah, Len, there's a saying in this game, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and Ryan Dempster certainly has taken that saying to heart. Since 2008, he's in 14 starts in the month of September, 7-3 with an ERA under 2. Hopefully he'll continue that tonight.
And 21-year-old Madison Bumgarner pitching in a pennant race. His last 4 starts, he has been tremendous, but he's getting no run support whatsoever.
Well, unfortunately, the Giants picked the wrong time of the year to have their bats go cold, but the Cubs will definitely take it.
So Dempster tonight for the Cubs, Bumgarner for the Giants, and we're set to go. It's Game 3 of this series. Kosuke with a game-winning home run in Game 2 last night. And Carlos Marmol just nasty to finish him off.
Hey, Chicago, what do you say?
Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
You're watching the Cubs and the San Francisco Giants here on Comcast Sportsnet, presented by Allstate. And we welcome those watching around the world on the Armed Forces Network. All the men and women serving our country here and abroad. And also the viewers in Canada watching on Rogers Sportsnet. Speaking of Canada, you have Gibson's British Columbia native Ryan Dempster starting for the Cubs tonight. And in Toronto earlier today in the Blue Jays 1-0 win over Seattle, 2 milestones. Ichiro with his 200th hit of the season. So that is a new record. He broke his own record, 10 straight years of at least 200 hits. And Jose Bautista, the 26th player to hit 50 home runs in a season. Bob, all 50 have gone to left or left center field. He hasn't hit one to the opposite field.
Well, for Ichiro, that's certainly to be expected. One of the more consistent hitters in all of Major League Baseball. But for Batista, a huge surprise this year. He has really responded well under the tutelage of hitting coach Dwayne Murphy up there in Toronto.
Now the Giants Southwest starting lineup written out by Bruce Bochy. The Padres won in Los Angeles late last night, so the Giants come in a half game back in the National League West. Former Cub Mike Fontenot will lead it off. Good numbers for Freddie Sanchez against the Cubs. Huff, Posey, Burrell, and Guillen in the middle. Juan Uribe is at short. With Fontenot leading off, Cody Ross down in that 8th spot. He had led off the first 2 games, and the pitcher Bumgarner hits 9th.
Take a look at the Cubs defense. Soriano, Bird, and Fukudome once again across the outfield. Ramirez and Castro once again on the left side of the infield. One change from the original lineup. Jeff Baker was in the lineup at second base. He's been battling the stomach flu for the last several days, so Darwin Barney takes over at second base tonight. Xavier Nady over at first. Coy Hill doing the catching. Or right-hander Ryan Dempster. 32nd start of the season for Demp, looking for his 15th victory. He surpasses the 200 inning mark once again this season. He has been really good lately.
33 years old, 6'2", 215 pounds. And he beat the Giants at AT&T Park on August 10th. 6 2/3 innings, gave up 4 runs, but only 1 was earned.
And really impressive for Dempster last time out on the road trip down in Florida. Very hot, humid conditions. Went 7 strong innings. Gave up only 4 hits to the Fish. Did not allow a run in that ballgame.
It was his 2nd consecutive start, both on this last road trip, in which he went 7 innings and did not allow a run. He did the same thing at Milwaukee on September 11th. Well, the other thing you like, Bob, this continues a trend. You go back to August 25th, and Ryan has had an extra day before every start since. And I think that's helped him. As you mentioned, he's already over 200 innings on the season, and everybody could use an extra day of rest at this point. We are underway, ball 1 to former Cub Mike Fontenot. He's at third base tonight after pinch hitting for Pablo Sandoval late in the game last night. Called strike, 1-1. And while Sandoval has been the Giants' everyday guy at third base, with less than 2 weeks to go in the season and you're in the middle of a pennant race, as a manager, you just write out the lineup that you think gives your team the best chance to win, period. Leadoff single for Fontenot. The word ego doesn't exist at this time of the year, does it?
Well, it certainly should not for those teams that are looking forward to the postseason. Those egos have to go to the back burner at this time of the year. You play the guys that you think are going to get it done. Giants have an expanded roster. I don't know how they all fit in that first base dugout. It looked like an ant farm on that first base side of the field before the game today. You have to make a reservation to get a seat. Otherwise, you have to stand up there and lean against the railing.
Freddie Sanchez tried to bunt and bunted it foul.
We've seen a lot of Freddie Sanchez over the years against the Cubs, mostly with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why you would ever sacrifice bunt with Freddie Sanchez. He is such a good handler of the bat. His natural swing produces balls to the right side of the field.
Hit and run this time. There you go. Blooped into right center. Fontenot makes the turn. That's why you don't ask Freddie Sanchez to bunt very often. As you were saying?
Yeah, well, we've seen enough of Freddie. We've seen him do some serious damage against the Cubs with that opposite field swing. And from our Coors Light RoboCam, you see Fontenot on the move. Wasn't much of a base hit, just loops it out there in right field in front of Fukudome, but the Giants have him on the corners with nobody out.
for Aubrey Huff. The wind is whistling straight out to center field. Right now, 15 miles an hour out of the southwest. Southwest means the wind's going to pick up the ball at home plate, and it's going to carry it straight out to center. Carlos Zambrano put on a show in batting practice. He found Waveland several times during BP.
And as we saw in the first game of this series, especially those high fly balls, the ones that get up above the roof of the stadium, seem to be really affected by that gusting wind straight out to center field. Buster Posey took advantage with the solo home run to straightaway center field, and it was a mile high.
Only run of the series for the Giants to this point, but a major threat with 2 on, nobody out in a 2-0 count to their number 3 hitter. That's ball 3 to Aubrey Huff. The Giants last night were shut out for the 4th time in their last 10 games. And for the 8th time over their last 13, they scored 0 or 1. A 2-run rally in this inning in particular, that would be a huge outburst. Well, they're loaded for Posey. Not how Ryan Dempster wanted to start. Different start time tonight. Moved up an hour. As the Cubs wanted to play a night game, this is the final home night game of the season, and the Giants have a long flight to Denver to play the Rockies this weekend after this game tonight. Inside to Posey. Dempster is now missed on 5 in a row. Rough night for Posey last night. He went 0 for 4 and struck out 3 times, tying a career high. All right, Bob, your Coy Hill. What do you say? We just trying to break up the rhythm here a little bit.
Just break up a bad rhythm. I mean, Dempster may have been pitching around Aubrey Huff to set up a potential double play starting at home plate, but you got to get back into that strike zone at some point. That's a danger you run early in the ball game, intentionally pitching around a guy. Sometimes because it is so early in the game and you're not in a good rhythm, it's hard to get back into the strike zone.
Nowhere to put Posey. He's in the driver's seat on this 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball.
I've talked about Posey in the first 2 games of this series. Normally in these situations, he looks for something out over the plate to drive to the opposite field. He is a very advanced hitter for his age and his experience at the major league level.
Ramirez to Barney to Nady. So they turn 2. Posey will not be credited with an RBI. Fontenot scores the first run. But all in all, the Cubs will take it. So what's left is a runner at third and 2 outs.
Well, you never like to give up a first inning run, but a Taylor-made 5-4-3 double play allows the Giants to score the first run of the game, and we get back to that inning management that Ryan Dempster talks about all the time. You find yourself in a horrible jam out there early in the game. If you can escape allowing only 1 run, it's been a pretty good inning.
Pat Burrell in the air to Kosuke, and that's the inning. Not easy. Dempster did limit the damage, and the Cubs are coming up. Now the Cubs Southwest starting lineup written out by Mike Quade. Just 2 runs on 7 hits so far in the series, but they're 1-1. Barney, Castro, Bird at the top. Ramirez, Nady, Soriano in the middle. Kosuke with a game-winning blast in Game 2, hitting 7th. Coy Hill 8th, and the pitcher Dempster pulling up the rear.
Take a look at the Giants defensively tonight. Pat Burrell, Cody Ross, and Jose Guillen will man the outfield. Former Cub Mike Fontenot at third base. Juan Uribe at short. Freddie Sanchez over at second base. Aubrey Huff will be at first. Buster Posey behind the plate for left-hander Madison Bumgarner. Look at his numbers on the season. As we mentioned in the open of the show, he's pitched in some real tough luck recently. You'll see a 4-pitch mix, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup in that order of preference.
He's only 21, and he turned 21 on August 1st. He is from Hudson, North Carolina. He was the 10th overall pick in the 2007 draft. 1-0 to Darwin Barney. Ground ball charged by Juan Uribe, who throws to Huff for the first out. Garner's been pretty good. And you look at his minor league numbers, and they're better than pretty good. 34-6 with an ERA of 2 in his minor league career. He may not make another minor league start ever again.
One thing you really love if you're the Giants is the 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio at the minor league level for Bumgarner. Normally you see a 20 or a 21-year-old lefty that's rushed through the minor leagues the way Bumgarner was. He's going to be a little wild when he gets to the big leagues, but this guy's been a strike thrower throughout his professional career.
Didn't give up many home runs in the minors. This year he's allowed 16, 11 with the Giants, 5 at AAA, that had not allowed double digits in homers in the minors previous to this season. 1-2 on Starlin Castro. And he gets to work with a pretty good lefty. Former starter and closer in the big leagues, Dave Righetti. A wind to 2-2, a Tapper foul. Last night Castro went out of an 0-for-12 slump. 1-for-6 in the series. What turned a great double play last night in the 7th inning. Bounced over the mound. Long run, Freddie Sanchez. All he'll do is keep it out of center field, but it's a base hit. Castro is aboard. Every hit important at this time of the year. He's trying to jump back into the top 10 in the National League in batting. Right now he would rank 10th if he had enough plate appearances. Came into the game 1 plate appearance short of qualifying.
Well, that was going to be a tough play. Once it got past the pitcher from our Coors Light RoboCam, you saw Freddie Sanchez get to the ball, but got there very awkwardly. No chance to get to his feet and make a throw.
That sets it up for Marlon Byrd. He takes a knee-high fastball for a strike. Marlon leads everybody in the National League with a .358 average against lefties, and he ranks 2nd in the majors. Bob, you mentioned Jeff Baker was a late scratch. He was going to play 2nd and lead off tonight. He's been battling a stomach problem the last few days. Actually went and had some tests to see if he had appendicitis. Fortunately, he did not. I guess it's just the stomach flu, which is no fun. But appendicitis is worse.
Yeah.
Hopefully Jeff's feeling better. As Bird went around, that's strike 3. Another guy on the shelf, but for a much longer period of time, is Mark DeRosa, the former Cub. He had left wrist surgery on July 1st and is probably not going to be available even if the Giants make the postseason. That one kicks away from Uribe. Castro on his way to third. Throw there. They got him. That's a risk that probably wasn't worth taking with 2 outs. Makes that final out at third base.
Starlin Castro with one of those rookie mistakes that you just have to live with till he gets some more experience. Backhanded play for Uribe. Got away from him briefly, but not far enough. You can see Pat Burrell in the background pointing at the baseball. Castro tries to take 90 more feet, and unfortunately Uribe's throw is right on the money to Fontenot for the last out of the inning at third base. He was already in scoring position at second. That's one of those plays you have to be 100% sure you can make it standing before you try to advance onto third base.
So the Giants with a 1-0 lead. Got a run in the first inning. The first run off a Cubs starter in the series. Jose Guillen takes ball 1. .301 average with San Francisco as he fouls it back. Cardinals on their way to Chicago as we speak after a 9-2 win over the Pirates today in Pittsburgh. Albert Pujols hit 2 home runs. Guillen is hit by that pitch, and the Cardinals avoid the sweep. Leadoff man is on.
You mentioned the Cardinals tomorrow. The Cubs host the Cardinals right here at Wrigley Field. Game time is 1:20, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 adults 21 and over will receive a Cubs bottle opener, compliments of Budweiser.
Their elimination number is 3. So the Cubs could officially eliminate them this weekend. Oh, and 1 on Juan Uribe. High throw by Dempster. Jump catch by Nady. Pablo Sandoval and Juan Uribe have combined to ground into 46 double plays already this season. Swing and a miss.
Uribe really gets turned around when he makes contact. If he happens to hit the ball on the ground with a runner at first, it's going to take him a while to unwind and get down that first baseline. In Sandoval's case, he's just not very fast.
And it's going to be 3-0 when this ball lands out on Waveland. Boy, did he get all of that 0-2 offering. Number 21 for Uribe. It would be easy to say that was a wind-aided home run, but it was not.
No. May have affected the overall distance, but there was no doubt where that ball was headed as soon as he made contact. I mean, Uribe, for a middle infielder, he's an all-or-nothing kind of a hitter until he gets to 2 strikes. He's trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark with some lift up until he gets to 2 strikes, and that time he crushed it.
So we saw 3 runs combined, 1-0, 2-0 the first 2 games, and the Giants have already matched that total here in the first inning plus. One and one on Cody Ross. Pitcher Bumgarner on deck. I talked about in the open, Madison Bumgarner pitching extremely well. His last 4 starts, 2 losses, no wins. He had received 2 total runs of support and none in any of his last 3 starts. So this must feel like 10 to Bumgarner tonight.
Maybe it'll throw him off his game having such a big lead early.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Tell you what, though, Len, this is the kind of night here at Wrigley Field. Very warm temperatures, wind howling straight out to center field. No lead is really safe. Now, certainly the pitchers will have something to say about that, but one mistake at the wrong time with some runners on base, and we're right back to square one.
Here's Bumgarner, right-handed batter. And he lost the handle on the bat. Deep to right. Fukudome's back on this one, and it just missed going out. It's a long single for Bumgarner. And he poked that one to the wall in right, just beneath the basket. It's a second, or rather, it's a single. Would have been a second double if he had gotten there, but this one almost got out.
A slider that just didn't break at all, right in the middle of the plate, and a perfect play off the vines by Kosuke Fukudome. Played the carom perfectly, didn't waste any movement whatsoever, got the ball, turned and fired to second base to hold Bumgarner to a single.
Contino with a single and a run in the first inning. Cubs continue to play well under Mike Quade. 10 games over 500 and 18-8 since he took over in late August. They trail early tonight. Going into action tonight, Cubs pitching staff had gone 11 consecutive games allowing 3 or fewer runs. So they're right at 3, but it's very early tonight. It's the longest such streak since 1984. The Giants have done the same in 16 consecutive games, 3 runs or less. the Cubs will welcome back to the rotation tomorrow left-hander Tom Gorzolani. Been a while for him. September 1st against the Pirates in the 3rd inning. Suffered an incomplete hairline fracture underneath the fingernail of his left pinky finger. So he will have missed a little over 3 weeks before his return tomorrow.
I have part of that condition myself, just the incomplete hairline part.
No fracture underneath your fingernail, just an incomplete hairline.
Yeah.
Well, there's a hairline. It's just
incomplete.
Rather circuitous. Outside, it's full, 3-2. Foul out of play. We'll do it again. Driven out into left center for Fontenot. This is going to roll all the way to the door. Bird got a good carom. Bumgarner to third. It's a double for Fontenot, who's 2 for 2.
Sinker out over the plate. That's a nice piece of hitting by Mike Fontenot to stay on that ball and drive it to the opposite field. Fortunately, it was the Giants pitcher running the bases. He had to be held at third base. Watch Comcast Sportsnet Cubs game replay on demand with Xfinity TV from Comcast. Don't miss the action. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
A rough go here for Ryan Dempster early on. Hasn't thrown enough strikes and has not thrown enough quality strikes. That's when he needs to do more of, get ahead in the count. 1 strike on Sanchez. Second and third, already 2 runs in on the home run by Uribe. Fielders in a few steps, and a ground ball base hit, sending the pitcher Bumgarner to the plate, and it's 4-0. Bob, we've seen some vintage Freddie Sanchez in the first 2 at bats tonight.
He's just so adept at pulling his hands in close to his body, letting the barrel of the bat drag behind. He was looking that way the entire pitch and drives it right through the right side of the infield. Yeah, that's his signature hit right there, that ground ball or soft line drive through the right side.
We're going to see some action in the bullpen as Larry Rothschild chats it over with Ryan Dempster and Coy Hill. Thomas Diamond has grabbed the ball. James Russell giving him some water. Before Aubrey Huff stands in, I'm going to tell all the fans the Cubs' wives will be selling copies of the Cubs' new cookbook in the concourse area here at Wrigley Field before tomorrow's game. It's a 1:20 start against the Cardinals. So make sure you buy one of those Cubs cookbooks. You might even get an autograph from Ryan Dempster. The Cubs on the cover. In the dirt to Huff, 1-1. Huff was born in Ohio, went to high school in Fort Worth, Texas, and then played college ball at the University of Miami in Florida, and was a 5th round pick of the Tampa Bay Rays in 1998. Hit for the cycle with Baltimore in 2007 against the Angels. And the Silver Slugger is a DH in 08. Takes a called third for the second out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Dempster.
Perfectly spotted sinker right on the outside corner. Coy Hill with just a subtle little push back toward the corner to get the call from Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate.
Still not out of it yet. Here's Posey, who with the bases loaded and nobody out in the first inning, grounded into a double play. Giants got the first run on that play, but he did not get the RBI. Job by Hill to at least keep it in the vicinity. That kept Sanchez at first. Tim Flannery right in the ear of Mike Fontenot at third base, probably discussing that last pitch that got away and what he'd like to see Mike do if a throw goes to second. If I had to make another guess, it would be, you see that throw go to second, you take off for home.
A lot to consider there, though. They got one of their best RBI men at the plate. Pat Burrell, another RBI threat in the on-deck circle. You certainly don't want to run into the third out of the inning at home plate. Maybe he's telling him, you just better be sure you make it if that ball gets away from Coy Hill again.
There may be some viewers out there saying, well, this is the majors. Mike's been around a while. Why does a coach need to tell him what the potential situations are? Well, it never hurts to be reminded.
Baseball is a game of repetition, including the coaches reminding the runners what they need to do. And one of the first things you'll hear from the first base coach when you get on base, freeze on a line drive. Well, everybody knows that from Little League on up. You're supposed to freeze on a line drive, but repetition is such a big part of this game. Cover all the bases. Make sure everybody knows what's going on.
Bruce Bochy hoping his team can jump back into first before this big weekend series against the third place Rockies, who have lost 3 in a row going into action tonight. Sanchez runs on the 3-2. Posey bounces it foul. Most of those pitches here in the second inning. Rockies are at Arizona again later tonight, as are the Padres at the Dodgers. You know, the interesting thing about those two matchups, the Diamondbacks have been out of it for so long, they're a more dangerous team than the Dodgers. We'll explain that later. Off the glove of Castro, 5-0. Sanchez to third. Should be a hit for Posey. Now Starlin had to go a long way to get it. And the inning continues. It is an RBI hit for Posey.
Spin ground ball toward the middle of the field. Castro only able to get the very tip of the webbing on the ball. Not sure if he would have had a play on Posey at first base, even if he comes up with it cleanly.
Burrell now the 9th batter of the inning. He made the final out of the first. Dempster would like him to make the last out of the second. Here are those updated standings. What I meant by the Diamondbacks being more dangerous than a team that is, 12 games ahead of them. they're more relaxed because they've been out of it for a while. The Dodgers very recently eliminated, and I do think there's a little bit of a letdown right after you're officially eliminated. Kicks away from Hill. Sanchez scores. Posey to second. 6-0. It's a wild pitch.
Yeah, it will go down as a wild pitch, but that wasn't one of Coy Hill's better efforts. Normally he's as good as they come in the game at blocking breaking pitches in the dirt. This time he gets caught just reaching across and trying to backhand the ball out of the dirt. Unfortunately hits off the heel of that catcher's mitt and gets far enough away to allow Sanchez to score.
Five runs second. Three and 0 on Burrell. Ball 4. We haven't had this conversation in a while, thankfully, because the pitching staff has been so good that it's a question of just getting that third out, and maybe Dempster can give you 5 or 6 tonight. That versus does he just not have it and you got to get him. Now the bullpen is rested. You hate to take your starter out in the second inning of any game. Bob, Ryan Dempster tonight has made only 6 pitches, not from the stretch. And he just hit Jose Guillen for the second time. That loads him up, and that'll be it. Here comes Mike Quade. Just did not have it tonight. So Alexis pursuing perfection, call to the pen. 6-0 San Francisco. Palatine, Illinois, helping out the grounds crew tonight. Running in those chalk lines. Catcher's box and the batter's boxes. Perfect. Don't step on that line. Here's Thomas Diamond. Tough game to explain. Ryan Dempster, just phenomenal. His last 2 times out did not allow a run in 14 combined innings. But tonight, the shortest start of the year for Ryan, as he goes just an inning and 2/3. And turns it over to Diamond with the bases loaded. Juan Uribe already with a 2-run homer in this inning. And a 2-0 count. We've got Posey at third, Burrell at second. Guillen's been hit by 2 pitches tonight. He's at first. There's a strike, 2-1.
Taking all the way on that 2-0 pitch, forcing the new pitcher to at least throw a strike before he lets it go. He let it go.
2 homers in the inning. That is a grand slam for Uribe. 6 RBIs in the second inning for the Giants shortstop, and it's 10-0. Wow. You don't see this very often.
Thank goodness. We talked about him after the last home run. He's an all-or-nothing kind of a guy. That's a big swing for a middle infielder, but caught it flush on the barrel of the bat. This one more of a line drive variety home run, but same result. The ball leaves the park. Pretty good inning for Mr. Uribe.
Wow. He's going to put a major hurting on Ryan Dempster's ERA. First 3 runs in that grand slam charged to the starter. So he gave up 9 in an inning and 2/3. Nothing San Francisco. Thing is, in each of the Giants' last 2 series, and they're not scoring a lot of runs, but they have put up some big numbers in one game in each series. Against the Dodgers, Bob, they lost 1-0, won 2-1, and then won 10-2. Against Milwaukee, they lost 3-0, lost 2-1, and then won 9-2. And in this series, 1-0 win, 2-0 loss, and they're up 10-0 in Game 3. Very odd.
Yeah, it really is. You know, we had Giants announcer Mike Krukow on during the rain delay, first game of this series, and he told us exactly what we're seeing here tonight. This Giants ball club has struggled to score runs, but it seems like once they crack the seal, they can put a bunch of runs on the board, and that's been the case early here tonight.
Over the last 11 games coming in, Cubs starters had allowed 9 earned runs. Ryan Dempster charged with 9 tonight, and the pitcher Bumgarner has 2 hits in this inning. Somebody make it stop.
Make it stop.
Eight hits in the inning. 2 of them home runs by one guy, Juan Uribe. That includes a grand slam. Benji Molina hit 2 home runs in the bottom of the 5th for the Giants back on May 7th of 2007 against the New York Mets. Not only the shortest outing of Ryan Dempster's season, his shortest career start as a Cub. Two and two.
And as we mentioned at the top of the show, on the heels of two of his better outings of the year.
Oh, foul, look out, right behind the Cub dugout. Well, at this point, Bob, you just hope that the relief corps can shut the door here and that the wind continues to blow straight out to center and that the Cubs bats can get hot. The only good news here for the Cubs is that they still have 24 outs to work with offensively. They're only in the second inning. This will carry out to Marlon Byrd and finally end the inning. A 13-batter second inning. Juan Uribe with 2 homers and 6 RBIs in the frame.
And 16th, 2011. Rooms are available now by calling the Hilton Chicago at 312-922-4400 and asking for the Cubs convention rate. Weekend passes will go on sale in early November. For more information, visit Cubs.com.
Well, I'm pretty sure Madison Bumgarner has not complained about a lack of run support. That would not be good form, but he certainly could have. Not tonight.
No.
Last 3 starts while he was on the mound, he got 0 runs of support, but 10 here in the first 2 innings. Such a weird game. There are 5 Cubs who haven't even taken an at bat tonight. The Giants have 10 runs. Mike Fontenot's had 3 at bats for San Francisco. What a night, what an inning for Uribe. Nady swings and misses. That's strike 3. Well, as an offense, Bob, do you change anything in terms of your approach, considering how early it is and the fact that you're down big?
Well, historically, when you found yourself behind big early in a ball game, you had everybody take until they had at least 1 strike, because the goal is to try to pile up as many base runners as you can and hope somebody hits one out of the ballpark to cut into that lead. But with the wind blowing out here tonight and the history of this particular Cubs offense, I think they're going to go up there looking to leave the ballpark, even if it's the first pitch of the at-bat.
1 strike offering. Now 0-2 on Alfonso Soriano. Soriano, this is his 138th game as a member of the Cubs. Sanchez ranging to his left. And he gets Fonzie for the out. His previous Cubs high was 135 games in 2007. Two away, it brings up Kosuke Fukudome, who hit a home run last night with his hitting coach from Japan, Kyosuke Sasaki, in the press box watching. Career high 13 home runs for Fukudome. Just missed the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's Mr. Sasaki on the right. Sasaki has joined the Cubs maybe, 2 or 3 times a season since Kosuke has been here in the States. He knows Kosuke's swing better than anybody. Outside, it's full, 3-2. Right back to the pitcher. Nice play by Bumgarner. He's fielded his position well tonight. 2 hits at the plate and a 10-0 lead. Monday after Bears-Packers, catch Bears post-game live. Pat Boyle, Jim Miller, Dan Jiggets join new host Howard Griffith for a complete game breakdown. Plus, Kip Lewis is live with player and coach reaction. U.S. Cellular Bears post-game live Monday immediately after the game on Comcast Sportsnet. Somebody stole your 70s wig.
Wondered where it went. Lead singer from Wolf Mother.
Yeah, I was thinking that. A little Carrot Top action, too. Woman! 1-1 on Sanchez.
You got a note here from Matthew Warren. All it says is, "It's my birthday." Well, happy birthday, Matthew Warren.
Also, happy birthday to Brian Babbitt from Sheldon, Illinois. Big Cub fan.
Also, anniversary wishes to Dave and Bev Sutter from Dubuque. They're here celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary. Congratulations.
Sanchez lines one into center for a base hit. And is 3 for 3. A hit an inning. I'd say he's pretty locked in right now.
He's on pace for a 9-hit game. Don't you love that on pace? You hear it a lot early in the season. Somebody will hit 2 home runs opening day. Oh, geez.
He's on pace for 300. What is it?
40.
A lot.
A lot. I think that would be a record.
.324. That would be a record. Ground ball. Nady. Castro. Diamond. 3-6-1.
The Cubs defensively haven't had much of an opportunity to get their hands on the ball, but this will be our all-state good hands play. Xavier Nady has really done a bang-up job down there at first base. This is one of a number of 3-6-1 double plays he's initiated. Gets the ball to Castro in good shape. Plenty of time to relay on to Thomas Diamond, who hustled over there to cover first.
Strike on Buster Posey. A couple of new books are out. We encourage you to check them out. This is the 102nd anniversary of the infamous Merkle play that ultimately helped the Cubs, who won the 1908 World Series. And there's a book called Public Bonehead Private Hero, The Real Legacy of Baseball's Fred Merkle by Mike Cameron. My good friend George Castle with his 11th book, When the Game Changed, an oral history of baseball's true golden age, 1969 to 79. Included in George's book is a scorecard from the 23-22 game, Phillies and Cubs, here at Wrigley Field, 1979. It's kind of hard to read. A lot of runs were scored.
Yeah.
Two pitch to Posey is low. It's full, 3-2. That one's going to go. Boy, the home runs they have hit have been lasers. Buster Posey makes it 11-0. Second homer of the series. I don't think any of these home runs have been wind-aided.
No. As I said on your rebase first one, maybe the overall distance, but there was no doubt about any of them, including that one by Buster Posey. Number 16 on the year for a legitimate Rookie of the Year candidate.
How do you explain the feast or famine? I gave you the scores recently for the Giants. Looks like they go from 1967 to 1930, back to 1968. I mean, it's like dead ball, live ball, dead ball, live ball. It really is feast or famine.
I don't know if there is a way to explain it, Len. There's just some things in this game that you just say, well, it is what it is. I mean, I'm sure Bruce Bochy and his staff would like to see a more consistent offensive production on a nightly basis, but the truth of it is you just take them where they fall. And I guess for Bochy, you're thankful you have a pitching staff that can occasionally make a run or two stand up for a victory.
Two to Burrow. We've had a pretty good look at all the National League Rookie of the Year candidates, including one in our own backyard, Starlin Castro, Jason Hayward, Gabby Sanchez, but Buster Posey might be closing in on that award. He makes it 11-0 here in the third. Now our AT&T trivia question. What do these three former Giants all have in common? Ricky Leday, Jose Vizcaíno, and Darryl Strawberry. Pretty good question. Answer coming up. Roy Hill makes a strike. Change for the Giants at first base. Travis Ishikawa is in for Aubrey Huff. I'm sure the score has something to do with it. Also, Huff last night fouled the ball off his right leg, so it might have flared up a little bit. No sense taking any chances.
And I would expect as we get deeper into this ball game, unless something changes drastically, we may see a few more of the Giants regulars come out of this lineup.
Hill strikes out. And Bob, I'm sure Dave Righetti and Bruce Bochy are already talking about Madison Bumgarner for this reason. He's 21. He's reached a career high in innings. And they have a very good understanding of what he needs and how he needs to be protected. There's no sense of pushing him too hard tonight. So it could be 5 and out for him tonight with the big bullpen.
And they've got some big series coming up over the next week and a half, and I'm sure they're going to want to have all arms on deck. So if they can shorten up any of their starting pitchers because of a big lead in a ball game, I think they're going to be willing to do that.
And they do go to Coors Field tomorrow night, so you want to have as fresh a bullpen as possible. called strike 3 on the outside corner to get Diamond. Pretty much breezed through the order. Comes with a couple of infield hits in the first, but no damage done. And here's Darwin Barney, grounded out to short his first time up. Well, Bumgarner really slings it in there. 0-1. Bumgarner from a town called Hudson, North Carolina. Under 3,000 people live in that town. It's about an hour and a half northwest of Charlotte, North Carolina. And according to the bio given to us by the Giants, he fishes and hunts deer and bear, but he only kills what he eats.
I had a chance to meet Madison Bumgarner before the first game of this series and ask him, what'd you do today here in Chicago? He said that he, along with a couple of his teammates, went to one of the shopping centers on Michigan Avenue.
Never heard it referred that way. He says bear meat can get real greasy if you don't cook it right. He just killed one bear and he has the head mounted on his wall. What would your wife say if you just came home one day and said, honey, I've got a bear head. Where can we put it?
Fire up the oven, honey. No, I don't know. I don't mess with bears.
You don't mess with your wife when it comes to decorating the house.
No.
We'll have a bear in the booth a little later. Israel Adonijah.
Nice.
3-2 pitch. Low, ball 4. First walk issued by Bumgarner.
Like that one.
Mount the fish right on your cap. Now what I know is, does that gentleman know he has a fish on his hat, or did he just grab the first hat he could find?
What kind of hats they ought to give away down in South Florida at the Marlins game? You know, we have several hat days here at Wrigley Field over the course of the season. That would be a nice one for the Marlins.
I think that's literally what the Marlins hat should look like. The player's cap should have a fish protruding from the forehead. A tail of the back. Toward right, base hit. Castro 2 for 2. A little 2-out rally. Another alternate logo. Can't say I've seen that one. Down the right field line, but twisting foul.
These are the kind of opportunities the Cubs are going to have to take advantage of. It's not easy sledding against Madison Bumgarner, but get a couple guys on there and hope somebody can hit one up there in the bleachers and just slowly whittle away at that lead. A lot of baseball left to play here tonight.
Fly ball deep to right. Guillen back on it. Warning track. He has it. Right near the well. Flips the ball up into the bleachers, and the Cubs strand 2. It's 11-0.
A.m. or later. I'll tell you, Len, it's always good to see Mike Murphy. When the Giants moved west in 1958, Murph was the bat boy for the San Francisco Giants. He's now the home clubhouse attendant, has been such for 31 years, a total of 53 years with the organization. One of the most loved clubbies in all of Major League Baseball.
Always good to see Murph.
Yep. I don't bother nobody. His famous saying, I don't bother nobody.
Jose Guillen hit by a pitch twice already in this game, and now has a hit to lead off the 4th. Giants just keep hitting. And here's Juan Uribe. Have a second inning, Juan Uribe.
Just a lousy 2-run homer off of Ryan Dempster earlier in the inning, and then came up against Thomas Diamond with the bases loaded. And a slam.
2 homers, 6 RBIs in the second.
I got news for you. He's not going to shorten up and try to punch the ball to right field here.
No. Three and 0.
He took a 2-0 pitch against Thomas Diamond before hitting the grand slam because Diamond had just entered the ball game and was yet to throw a strike. But in this 2-0 count, rather 3-0 count, watch out.
3 and 1. He has never hit 3 in a game. He has hit 2 9 times. Fly ball. Marlon Byrd, long run, the dive, the catch. He's as good as anybody in baseball on that play. And he had to come a long ways, playing pretty deep tonight with the wind blowing out.
I'll tell you, he's as good as anybody I've seen out there in center field, making this particular play, coming in on the ball, leaving his feet, never takes his eye off the ball, tracks it all the way into the glove, and it never comes out of that glove as he finishes his dive.
Ross took a cutter outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Cubs got Thomas Diamond from Texas off waivers about a year ago, September of '09. I mentioned he pitched for Coach Randy Bush at the University of New Orleans. Randy now to find assistant general manager to Jim Hendry. Through the hole on the left side, that's a base hit.
Hey fans, get your photo on the field. An hour before the start of every Cubs home game, the Captain Morgan Club at Wrigley Field will randomly select one guest and a friend to have their photo taken on Wrigley Field with your name on the scoreboard. No game ticket is required. Visit CaptainMorganClub.com for details.
Bumgarner, 2 hits in that 9-run second. Swing and a miss. Thomas Diamond's first exposure to pitching was through instructional videos and books. Read about 30 or 40 books when he was a kid, according to his dad. The 38th round pick out of high school. Now the Tampa Bay Rays, but received a scholarship offer from the University of New Orleans, and he took that. Pitched in the Northwoods League in the summer. A piece of Coy Hill. You speak very highly of the Northwoods League, Summer Collegiate League up in Wisconsin. Are there teams in Minnesota or mostly Wisconsin?
There's some teams in Minnesota, yeah. They're scattered around the upper central part of the Midwest, yeah. Really good pitchers league, as you might imagine. A lot of the collegians coming off their college season swinging aluminum bats, and they go up to the Northwoods League and get the timber in their hands. It's a whole different story. The pitchers really dominate up there.
Diamond picks up his second strikeout. There's Mike Fontenot for the 4th time already. Uribe has been responsible for more than half the Giants' 11 runs. Team did your son Michael play for in the Northwoods League?
The Lacrosse Loggers.
Lacrosse.
Yeah.
Was there a team in? Is there a team in Eau Claire, Wisconsin? The only reason I ask is when Hank Aaron broke in, he played for the Indianapolis Clowns of the Negro Leagues and eventually signed with the Braves. His first minor league team was in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Yep.
I think it was the Northern League at the time, and eventually ended up in Milwaukee. It's 11-0 San Francisco. to get back into this game, trailing Madison Bumgarner and the Giants 11-0. Former Cub Sean Dunston looking on from the Giants dugout.
The Sean-o-meter at 0 right now. Been a while since Sean's had an at-bat here at Wrigley Field.
Yeah. What a cannon for an
man.
Dunston.
You know, those were back in the days, Len, when teams took infield practice. The home team would take their regular batting practice, the visitors would hit, and then the home team would come back out and take an infield practice, followed by the visiting team. And I'll tell you, when Sean Dunston took infield at shortstop, it drew a crowd. People wanted to come out, and Sean was more than happy to oblige them, firing those rockets across the diamond.
Ramirez high in the air to left center. Cody Ross back on it. Still going back, and he makes a catch up against the 368 sign. That one was wind aided. He got it up in the air. It looked like a fairly routine fly ball, but nothing's routine tonight.
Look at the location of that pitch, down below the knees on the outer third of the plate. That's right where Ramirez likes it. Gets good extension. Unfortunately, just didn't get enough of it that time.
That's a strike on Xavier. Pitch up, 1-2. Washington cooling off the Houston Astros, 7-2 the final. Washington won the final 3 games of that 4-game series. We'll see the Astros next weekend, final series of the regular season. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they're feeling pretty good about how things have gone in the second half. Nady fans, let's answer tonight's AT&T trivia question. 3 former Giants all have this in common: Lede, Vizcaíno, and Strawberry. The 4 franchises that originated in New York. The Giants, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Mets are the only 3 players to play for all 4 teams. Now, the Giants and the Dodgers, those guys played for those teams after they had moved to the West Coast, but the same franchise. So there you have it. And the Mets colors are in honor of both teams, the Brooklyn Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants. That's why their main colors are Dodger blue and Giant orange. Giants moved to San Francisco in 1958. They have not won a World Series since the move. Their last World Series victory as the New York Giants under Leo DeRocha, their manager, in 1954. (3-2) on Soriano. There really was no such thing as West Coast baseball before the Dodgers and Giants moved out to California in '58.
If you listen to some of the East Coast media, there still isn't anything as such thing as West Coast baseball. It's after bedtime. They can't stay up that late to watch a game from the West Coast.
West Manhattan. Ross back on this ball. He's not going to get it. Right at the base of the wall, Soriano has a double. And the Cubs keeping this fourth inning alive. A two-base hit from Soriano.
Unfortunately, this one not hit high enough to be affected by the wind. A line drive to straightaway center, chasing Cody Ross back into the vines. And Soriano will chug into second base with a double.
He is in the top 10 in the league in doubles. That's his 37. Marlon Byrd also among the league leaders in doubles with 38. Fukudome swings at the first pitch, pops it up. And they're backpedaling Wanaribe. 2 hands on it. That's the inning. Off to the 5th. All Giants in the rubber match, 11-zip. $3,695. If you are the 500th texter, you could win 5 $5 footlong subs from Subway.
Crystal would like to send birthday wishes to Rich Moran here at the ball game tonight. Also welcome to Kelsey, Brianna, and Thomas from Jennifer McNiff.
Called strike on Freddie Sanchez, who's 3 for 3 with an RBI.
So the 9th birthday today of Chiara Monticelli. Happy birthday.
Happy night. Deep to center. Bird back on the track, off the wall, and gets by him as Sanchez is going to stop at second. 11-0 the score. Not going to push it. Castro, I think, tried to hang on to that ball as he noticed Sanchez was not going to try for third, and it got out of his hands. Four for Sanchez.
He busts this one pretty good to straightaway center field. High off the vines out there. Ricochets away from Marlon Byrd. Under normal circumstances, that's an easy triple for Freddie Sanchez, but out of respect to the Cubs and the fact that he's leading off the inning and there's nobody out, he didn't want to make the first out over there at third base, so he held at second.
First at bat for Ishikawa. Came in to play first base in the third inning for Aubrey Huff. Ishikawa has hit .325 on the road this season, only .188 at AT&T Park. 2 balls, no strikes. Marcos Mateo now up in the Cubs bullpen. 3-0. Outside, ball 4. Hey, for all the Cub fans watching in Arizona, particularly in Mesa, the spring training home of the Cubs, a special event coming up on Saturday, October 9th from 10 to 11:30 a.m. at Hohokam Stadium in Mesa. You can meet Ron Santo and sign a banner supporting his induction into the Hall of Fame. Get a Keep the Cubs sticker, poster, or yard sign to support Proposition 420 as the Cubs are looking to remain in Mesa for spring training for years to come, and also be present for a special announcement honoring Ron from Mesa Mayor Scott Smith. You can go to keepthecubs.com for more info. Saturday, October 9th at Hohokam Park in Mesa, 10 a.m. to 11:30. Ron will be there, and we hope you can make it. First two have reached here in the 5th. Fouled back by Posey. Nothing in 2, the count. Posey with 2 hits, including his 16th home run. Sliced foul out of play. And continues to blow hard, but a little bit more out to left at the moment. Say, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. In the winter, let it blow, let it blow, let it blow. You're down 11-0. You need all the help you can get. The problem is the other team gets the advantage too. And the Giants have taken advantage of it tonight. Bird tracking. Sanchez tagging as Ishikawa will head back to first. Marlon Bird's gotten his sprints in out in center tonight.
Marlon gets such a great jump on the ball, gets up to top speed quickly and gets to the spot. You see a lot of major league outfielders on a ball just like that. They will glide the entire way and manage to get to the spot just as the ball gets there. But Marlon chooses to hustle to the spot, get himself in good position, and hustle the ball back into the infield.
That'll be it for Diamond. He'll be replaced by Marcos Mateo. Brad Snyder also in. It's the Lexus call to the pen. Fans text banner to B-Hawks. That's 242957 to join Blackhawks Mobile and be entered to win 2 tickets to the Blackhawks 2010 home opener on October 9th. That's banner to 242957 for your chance to catch this historic moment as the team raises the Stanley Cup banner to the rafters. Pat Burrell takes a slider low and outside from Marcos Mateo. 2 rookies into the game, Brad Snyder and Wright, and Mateo on the mound. Cubs have used 18 rookies this season, the most since 2000 when they utilized 19. And 11, including both Mateo and Snyder, have made their debut this season. Casey Coleman on that list. He'll be on the mound Saturday against Chris Carpenter. Jeff Samardzija hits the ball on Sunday versus Jake Westbrook. Good feet. Tim Flannery
played the rebound too. To jump over that smash down the third base line, it hit something on the facing of the bleachers over there and ricocheted right back to him.
Over the mound. The tag, the throw, the double play. Keeps Sanchez from scoring and ends the inning. Still 11-0 San Francisco. We saw great pitching in the first 2 games of this series tonight. A rare rough night for the Cubs pitching staff, trailing 11-0 here in the 5th inning.
Well, like we've said repeatedly since that second inning, there's nothing you can do but try to get some base runners on there and hope somebody pops one, start to cut into that lead a little bit, at least give yourself a realistic chance of coming back in this ball game. But Madison Bumgarner's going to have a lot to say about that.
Coy Hill lines deep to left center. It's Cody Ross. A new outfield configuration. Ross goes to center. Rowan replaces him in center. So Ross over to left, and Nate Schierholtz is over in right for Jose Guillen. Brad Snyder got his first major league hit on Sunday in Florida. That takes a strike. It was a 2-run single in the second inning. Well, Bob, this just gets us prepared for our spring training scorecard in March.
It's always a danger this time of year with the expanded rosters. If you happen to get a blowout ball game and one or both teams empty the bench, it's going to mess up your scorecard in a brutal way. Saturday is E-Set Day here at Wrigley Field. Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Cards at 12:05. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs hat, compliments of E-Set Internet Security. Start protecting yourself now with E-Set Internet Security software. Download your 30-day free trial at eset.com. That's ESET.com.
0-1 to Darwin Barney. Base hit. And for the second time, a walk and a single. Cubs keep rallying, but with 2 outs. Well, where would Darwin Barney be on the baseball field without the chewing gum? Everybody has their thing. He chops on that bubble gum.
Well, he has sore jaws by the end of the night.
Well, his dad's a dentist. And I asked Darwin, so you chew only sugarless gum, right? You know, most of the time.
Well, considering some of the other alternatives of what guys like to chew on during the game, gum is probably the best option.
Castro's average has gone up 4 points tonight with the 2 for 2. Every at bat, every ground ball defensively. It's all part of the learning process. I'm sure Starlin's teammates and his coaches are telling him, dig deep. Only 11 to go, including tonight. After tonight, 10 games left. I'd like to see Starlin finish in the 300s and make improvements all around in his game every day. Kicks away from the catcher Posey. Rattling around on the ledge. A wild pitch, putting Barney in scoring position.
One area of improvement we've seen already from Starlin Castro, and obviously he needs to continue to do it over years and years at the big league level. The tag plays at second base. They were a real issue when Marlin first got here, was taking his throws from the catcher up in front of the bag at second and reaching back for the sliding base runners, and a much nicer job lately of staying on the base.
Sherholtz in right with the grab and the final out. So Bumgarner now qualifies for the win, leading 11-0 after 5. Tomorrow night, the preseason continues on Comcast Sportsnet. Tune in as the Hawks take on the Red Wings in a tune-up in Detroit. Hawks and Wings tomorrow night at 6, only on the TV home of the Stanley Cup champs, Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Strike one on Nate Scherholtz, getting his first at bat. Oh, 0-2. Uribe and Ross to follow. Uribe has done the most damage. 2 second-inning home runs, including a grand slam. Game 4 of that big series in New York. Yankees 3, Rays 1 in the top of the 6th. Yankees taking the first 2. The Rays answered last night. I didn't even make it, Bob. I think it was about 11:40. They were still playing. They had a long rain delay in the Bronx. Both teams probably are in the playoffs. Just a matter of who's going to win the East. Right now, New York with a 1.5 game lead. And the Rays leading Boston by 6.5 in the wild card. David Price and CC Sabathia. Great matchup. It's 3-1 Yankees.
That's the second time in a week those two have hooked up.
Marcus Thames with his 12th home run. A 2-run shot in the second. The Yankees are coming to Wrigley Field once again next season. I think first time since 2003. They'll be here at Wrigley. And Scherholtz strikes out. Cubs will go to Fenway Park. Now that'll be fun. Yankees and Cubs at Wrigley. Cubs and Red Sox at Fenway.
Fenway Park.
Fenway Park, yeah. The only ballpark the Cubs have not played in the current park is Oakland, a Coliseum. And they get Uribe. They have played at Kauffman Stadium, but not since it was renovated. And we'll be there next year. Looking forward to seeing that ballpark. I liked it before they renovated it.
It looked great. It had held up very well over the years.
I suppose you could say we haven't been to Target Field, but Cubs have played at Minnesota. Bad memories at the Metrodome. Ooh,
yeah.
Not too many visiting teams have good memories there.
Partially because of the ballpark itself, the old dome, and importantly because you had to play the Twins. They've been really good.
I'm sorry, did you say dump or dome?
Dome. Oh. Interchangeable, though, referring to that ballpark. Yeah. Maybe the greatest home field advantage in Major League Baseball, with that roof with what appeared to be baseball-sized circles superimposed on the lid, made it nearly impossible for visiting teams to find fly balls.
Weren't there rumors about the direction of the air conditioner in there too?
Yeah, that's
maybe even during football games for field goals and all kinds of.
I've heard that about
legends.
A couple of different ballparks. Yeah, the old Houston Astrodome, outfielders for visiting teams used to say when the Astros were hitting, they could feel wind hitting them in the face, and when the visiting team was hitting, the wind would be coming in from the outfield. So whoever was controlling the fans or the air conditioning at the old Astrodome tried to turn that into a home field advantage. Nice catch. Nice catch.
Cody Ross launches way out. That one will find Waveland. 12-0. It's their 4th homer. A 3-2 offering from Mateo.
Cement mixer slider just never took the break. Spun up there in the middle of the plate for Cody Ross, and he got the barrel on it. And if you get the barrel on it and get a little elevation tonight, you got a good chance to hit it out in the street.
Bumgarner will continue on in the bottom of the 6th. Nobody warming in the Giants bullpen. Sharply hit ground ball to Starlin Castro. That ends the inning. The Giants get their 4th home run of the night and lead 12-0. Will catch. Fans Young and Young joining the action tonight. Young fan on the right getting an iPhone tutorial. I want to text. Marlon Byrd, ground ball. Surrounded by Uribe. Strong arm. Gets it. Byrd hustling. Down 12-0. Going down the line like it was 1-1 in the 9th.
We pointed out every time we see it from Marlon Byrd, which is every day, but the reality is that shouldn't be the exception. That should be the rule. He plays every game like it's going to be his last ball game, or like it's his first ball game.
He's going to be more vocal in that clubhouse next spring training. Year under his belt with the Cubs. And Marlon Byrd, Bob, is a guy you want to be vocal. Uribe again. Let's put it this way. You can speak through experience. I'm sure you had a teammate or two who maybe occasionally was vocal in the clubhouse about telling guys they need to play harder, do whatever they need to do. And a teammate could go right back and say, well, why don't you do it? Well, in Marlon Byrd's case, he could say anything he wants and he'll back it up.
Yes, he will.
When it comes to effort.
I mean, we've heard so many times that a guy leads by example. He's not a vocal guy in the clubhouse, and that's fine. You need guys like that on a team as well. But I think Marlon is comfortable enough now in his surroundings, and perhaps out of respect to Derek Lee, he chose not to be the guy to stand up and say things in front of the whole team. But I think we'll see more of that next year.
That was a quick 6-pitch. 1-2-3-6. 12-0 San Fran. Tomorrow the Cubs kick off their final home series of the season as they welcome in their old rivals, the Cardinals, here at Wrigley Field. Coverage starts at 12:30 with Chevy Cubs pregame live. Don't miss the Cardinals and Cubs tomorrow, 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Adam Wainwright, Tom Gorzolani on the mound. A plethora of changes as Sam Full takes over in center. 3 veterans are done for the night. Marlon Byrd, Aramis Ramirez, and Xavier Nady. And Bobby Scales at third. And Micah Hoffpower at first. And on the mound, it's left-hander James Russell. Low to Fontenot. Sam Fuld goes into Bird's spot. Scales straight up for Ramirez. Hoffpower in the 7th spot where the pitcher was. The pitcher spot now 4th. Rather 5th. Where Nady was batting. Russell's 1-2 is taken outside. 54th relief appearance for James Russell. Ground ball fair. Picked up by Hoffpower, and Russell beats Fontenot to first base.
Nice play by Micah Hoffpower, just into the ball game. Had to go to his backhand side right down the first baseline, taking away extra bases from Mike Fontenot, a former teammate. And Russell does his job, getting over there just in time to get the out.
Bob, going back to the years you went to the playoffs and you played in really important games, managed important games, more specifically with Arizona late. With a game like this, you could almost replace every starting position player. I mean, you've got a deep enough bench. But do you keep a Freddie Sanchez in the game? Maybe a Juan Uribe who's been hot just because when it's 12-0? Or do you assume this game is over as Cole makes the catch?
Well, first of all, you never assume anything in this game, but I think sometimes it's a way of rewarding a guy. Uribe having a good night, Sanchez having a good night. It'd be very easy to pull the plug on those two guys, but Uribe obviously locked in at the plate right now and probably doesn't want to come out of this ball game at this juncture. So, in some cases, it's a reward for having a good early part of the ball game. Maybe a guy has been struggling recently, but all of a sudden it looks like he's showing signs of breaking out. So you want him to get as many at-bats in this game and get that positive reinforcement and carry that forward for the rest of the year. Other times, guys maybe have little nagging injuries, and you want to get them out of there so they can go up to the training room and get their treatments and get ready for that flight to Denver tonight and be prepared for the ball game tomorrow night. So it's really a very subjective thing with each individual guy, whether they need the extra at-bats and the extra innings played, or whether they're better served going up into the clubhouse and getting some treatments and diving into that spread.
Ishikawa in the air. Sam Fuld will take it. Israel Adonijah of the Bears coming up with a stretch.
The Chicago Bears defensive lineman Israel Adonijah.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever come back, and we'll root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's go, Cubs.
As the Cubs will bat here in the bottom of the 7th. Another change. Emmanuel Burris into play second base. As Madison Bumgarner still in there. Alfonso Soriano leading it off. Great to have with us Israel Adonijah, Chicago Bears defensive lineman. You guys have gotten off to a great start, but I know you don't rest on your laurels, and you're just simply looking ahead to Monday night against the Pack. Ball 1 to Soriano. And always get up for Monday night football. It's going to be fun, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
it's a big game, first place, and we want to hold on to that. And Green Bay, it's always a very intense game, physical, and we just can't wait to get out there and really get after them.
We talk so much about baseball every day. You've got a game every single day, but in football, it's practice, 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 game, practice, 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 look at tape, practice.
Nonstop.
It is nonstop, yes.
Israel, we talk in baseball all the time how important momentum is in getting an early lead in a ball game. I would assume in football you want to get out there and get your licks in early and establish that you came to play today.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Soriano on his way to second with his second double tonight. By the way, fans throughout Canada watching this game tonight on Rogers Sportsnet. And you spent a lot of time in Manitoba.
That's home.
That is home. And last night the Blackhawks were in Winnipeg playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. And there are a lot of Jets fans up there who'd like to see the NHL return. Maybe at some point they will.
Hopefully.
You play any hockey?
I did. I played a lot of hockey growing up, and loved to get on the ice and knock some people around.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Now, do you know Jonathan Taves?
I do.
Yeah.
Manitoban and great hockey player. So I'm a big fan.
Did you make it to any of the Stanley Cup playoff games?
I did. How crazy were those?
Oh, unbelievable. My joke is if you want the Blackhawks to win in 6 games, give me tickets to Game 7. I had Game 7 tickets for 2 series, and the Blackhawks clinched in Game 6, including the Stanley Cup. I was happy that they won it in 6, but I was certainly curious to see a Game 7, but it worked out well.
That's a good problem, though.
1-2 the count. Guillermo Mota is up in the Giants bullpen. Israel, I have a question for you. A lot of baseball players play fantasy football. Do you play fantasy or rotisserie baseball or hockey? Or sure, you don't play fantasy football, but any other sports?
Not a fantasy guy, but all my friends that talk about it tell me how exciting it is, and it makes it so much more. You get into it more when you have your players and your picks and making trades. So maybe in the future.
And a lot of fantasy football players, they just have a defense. They don't really have individual players. As Hoffpower takes a called third strike. But I don't know, maybe somebody has you in their fantasy league.
Yeah, I got that Bears defense. Big things Monday.
McCoy Hill with 1 out. Runner at second. We're in the 7th inning. 12-0 San Francisco. Do you read the papers? I know guys say they don't, but a lot of people didn't think you guys were going to get off to the start you have. And do you use that as motivation, or do you just not care what the media says?
With that kind of preseason play, a lot of speculation on what kind of team we would be. But, in our camp, we knew we had the talent, the ability, and, things have kind of fallen how we had planned, from the coaches to the players. This is where we plan on being, and we're playing some good football.
You're also in a huge market. You're going to get a lot of media attention. It's not always going to be positive, but when you win, it is. That's a great thing. And ball is fair. I think Fontenot thought it was foul. He turned around and looked at Mike Winters, who said fair ball. So that'll be a hit for Coy Hill. Boy, Bob, we just said never assume, right?
That's right, never assume
that ball was foul.
And we've seen third basemen all summer long on plays just like this. They catch the ball and fire it across the diamond. They don't assume anything. They don't wait to hear the umpire's call, but by the time Fontenot realizes it's a fair ball, it's too late to throw on to first to try to get Coy Hill.
So 2 on for Brad Snyder. This is his second at bat tonight. Israel, I want to talk about your foundation. First down attendance program and Izzy's kids, right?
Right. Yeah, we kicked off Tuesday, 300 kids, and it's just a great program. Growing up, I had people pour into my life and really press importance of education to me, and some of these kids don't have that.
And so we want to be that, my team IAF, we want to be that voice, pressing that, hey, get your education, stay focused at this time in your life. And with that education, you can really be who you want and, get where you want to be in life.
That's great. Back to the community. So let's see, it's Thursday night. We've got a Monday night game, so the schedule, it's a little skewed. What do you have tomorrow? What's your day like tomorrow in terms of preparing for Monday night?
Yeah, tomorrow's a full padded practice. We're going to get in there and get after it. And we'll be working on the Green Bay passing scheme and preparing for the third downs. And then Saturday, just look over the full picture of the week, what our strategy is going to be, and then just kind of fine-tune everything Sunday, get after it.
When Barney will bat with 2 outs.
Does that seem strange when you have the Monday night football game? Because usually you wake up Sunday morning, it's time to go to battle.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the night game.
Yeah,
I like to wake up and get after it. So those night games, I wake up and sit around, and game day I don't really like to eat too much. So then I got to eat a light breakfast, and so it throws off my whole regimen.
So now in high school you played football, right? But it was Canadian football?
I did, yeah.
So an extra 10 yards on the field, 12 on 12, right?
Yeah, extra man. Yeah, and actually in high school I played in a 9-man football league.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a little different.
Are there any rules currently used in the CFL or when you played in high school that you would like to see the NFL adopt? With all the men in motion, you probably wouldn't like that.
Yeah, I think
is it unlimited motion there, or you can be moving forward?
Yeah, you can be moving forward towards the line before the ball snapped, and hit the line full speed. You can get 1 point. It's called a rouge. If you kick the ball, through the back of the end zone. I think I like each kind of league the way it is. The CFL and NFL. It's 2 different styles of football, and both great games.
Do you have buddies who play in the CFL? Do you get the chance to see them in the summer?
I do.
Oh, that's great.
And every once in a while they show a game on NFL Network.
What's the Winnipeg team? It used to be the Blue Bombers. Are they still the Blue Bombers?
The Bombers, yeah.
Right. Are there 2 Rough Riders still?
No.
There used to be. It was Saskatchewan and Ottawa, right?
Okay, the Ottawa, they used to have the Renegades. Yeah.
Okay. See, I know my CFL.
Yeah, you know your stuff.
BC Lions.
Yes, sir.
The Argos in Toronto. The Alouettes in Montreal.
Okay.
You got it. 3-1 on Darwin Barney. Two on, 2 down. The Cubs trying to break the shutout here. That's fouled back. Good rip by Barney.
I would imagine that some of the PA announcers around the NFL have butchered your name pretty good over the years.
It gets a pretty good butchering all around sometimes, But it's funny. We all laugh about it, and it's a good time.
As long as they get it right at Soldier Field. We told the story, Mike Quaddy, his first major league game as the first base coach of the Oakland A's in Oakland. And a longtime public address announcer called him Mike Quaid. It was the opening day. He was all excited. And, Quaid. After the game, the PA announcer found Mike and said, "I'm so sorry. That'll never happen again." And said it really made him feel good that the announcer made an effort to go down and apologize to him. And you look at that name, you'd say Quaid, but it's Quaddy. Runners go on the 3-2, and that one is laced foul. How would you rate Aaron Rodgers among quarterbacks, not only in the division, but really the entire league?
Talented. The guy's a talented quarterback. Very mobile. He led the league last year, as amongst rushing quarterbacks. So he's one of those guys you can't take lightly. You got to get after him early, get him uncomfortable in the pocket. Because if you allow him to get comfortable, he's gonna make you pay for it.
Well, we hope you make him very uncomfortable Monday night. It's a pleasure. Thanks, Israel.
Hey, thank you.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Republic, and you can join. Stay 7 nights at Iberostar Hacienda Dominicus with your favorite Chicago Cubs players, including Sean Marshall, Carlos Marmol, and Hall of Famer Billy Williams. Go to applevacations.com/Cubs to learn more about this exclusive trip.
Pitcher number 5 for the Cubs tonight, sinker baller Justin Bird. Thanks to Israel Adonijah for joining us.
That is a large man.
Yes.
Whew.
So we've been fortunate, Bob. We've met several members of all the other major pro sports teams here in town who've come up to sing the stretch. And they're all so easy to talk to, and they really enjoy coming to Wrigley Field.
Israel's a good singer, too.
Yes, he is. To the University of Manitoba. Born in Nigeria. He's become a very important part of the Chicago Bears. 1-0 on the catcher Eli Whiteside, who bounces foul. It's kind of like backing up Jason Kendall this year, as Buster Posey originally came up, played a lot of first base because they still had Benji Molina. Then they traded Molina to Texas. That opened up the catcher spot for Posey. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Wow, look at the Rays. They have come back. And now lead 8-3. So they might split that series. That one is still foul. 7 runs in the 6th. They knocked Sabathia out of there. And get the best Chicago sports news nightly on Sports Night, presented by Dex. After Sylvania Cubs post-game live, it's Bears-Packers week. And the Blackhawks back on the ice for their preseason. Luke Stuckmeyer, David Kaplan will have Sports Night presented by Dex tonight after post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. A little floater into left center, and it'll get down for Eli Whiteside. Aaron Rowan came into play center in the 5th inning. Assuming Andres Torres, well, we're assuming a lot. We can do that up here. Talk about not assuming anything on the field. Let's assume the Giants make the playoffs. Let's assume Andres Torres is healthy. Another flare for a base hit. Aaron Rowan's playing time has diminished greatly, and it's been a real struggle for him. In fact, he just ended in 0 for 16 with that base hit. Bob, I would not guess at this point that his spot on the active postseason roster is in jeopardy. And the reason I would say that is because of his veteran experience. But there are a lot of guys on this roster. They're trying to help their team get to the playoffs, and they also want to be used in the postseason. So they'll have some interesting choices and decisions to make. Now they have a luxury right now. They have an outfielder named Darren Ford. And at this point, we haven't seen him in the series, but I have a feeling he's going to get his first career plate appearance tonight. He has been used in 6 games, 5 times as a pinch runner. He's played 2 innings in center field. If you had an expanded roster in October, there's no question he'd make it as a designated pinch runner. But when it gets down to 25, does he give you enough in terms of his versatility to maybe push a guy like Aaron Rowan? Darren Ford kind of reminds you of Herb Washington of the Oakland A's. All he did was come in as a pinch runner.
Charlie Finley's great experiments, just carrying a guy on the roster strictly as a pinch runner.
Down ball to first. Off power to Castro. Back to Bird. Late. Sherholtz beat it out. It's a fielder's choice.
Well, then I guess to answer your question about carrying a guy like Ford just as a pinch runner in the postseason was if you had enough versatility off your bench, guys that could play multiple positions in case you had an injury or had a need to double switch at some point in the ball game. If you had a guy or two on the bench that could play multiple positions and you felt like you had everything covered late in the ball game and you're going to play a pretty much set roster or set lineup rather in the postseason, then maybe a guy like that would be a late add to the postseason roster.
And a lot of times, in fact most times, you can add an extra position player because you don't need 12 pitchers for that first round. You could go with an 11, maybe even a 10-man pitching staff depending on your other needs. Sandoval pinch hitting for Uribe. And he knocks it into right to make it 13-0 as Whiteside scores.
If you're a Giants fan, or Bruce Bochy for that matter, you have to wonder if the 13 runs on the board so far tonight make it seem a little tougher to score runs when they get to Colorado tomorrow because of exactly what you were talking about earlier in the ball game. The 2 or 3 game stretch where they have trouble scoring any runs, and then one game where they bust out and score in double digits and then go right back in the tank the next day.
Well, they'll be playing at offense-friendly Coors Field. But I do think it'll be interesting to see what roster decisions they make. Again, I would guess Aaron Rowan should be fine, but I don't think he's going to assume that he's fine for the active roster for that first round, considering the difficult year he's had. I just think in the end experience will pay off for him.
It certainly wouldn't hurt anything to get hot over this last 10 games of the regular season if he gets enough playing time to prove that he is hot.
The other thing is he could be inactive for the first round series, and then if they get to the championship series, you could put him on that roster.
Now, sometimes the opponent is a determining factor as well. He might have great numbers against one possible opponent in the division series, but maybe not such good numbers against another opponent.
Two and one on Ross. 3 hits, including a home run. Eugenio Velez on deck in the pitcher's spot for Bumgarner. So at this point, the only 3 spots that have not been touched in the lineup: Fontenot in the leadoff spot, Ross, who's at the plate right now, and Bumgarner, the pitcher, who will be removed after Ross hits. Double play ball, but it gets away from Castro. They get 1 out, and that's it.
Like a tailor-made double play ball. Castro just came up with the glove a little bit too soon. The ball looked like it hit him on the inside of the left ankle. Fortunately stayed close enough. He was able to get the force play at second base. Probably not a good idea right there by Darwin Barney. You can see Cody Ross was already a couple steps past the bag at first as he tried to relay on for the double play.
Have lost in the shuffle because of all the Giants offense tonight. It was a pretty darn good performance by their starting pitcher. Bumgarner went 7 innings, gave up 7 hits, walked 1, struck out 9. One and 1 to Velez. It'll be Mota in the bottom of the 8th.
Different looking Giants team over the last couple of years than traditional San Francisco Giants, even New York Giants teams. They were always teams that seemed to build around power, guys that could hit the ball out of the ballpark, just try to outscore the opposition. But in their ballpark out there in San Francisco now, home runs are tough to come by. And this is now a Giants team that's built around their pitching staff, and they figure to be good on that bump for years to come.
Yeah, Barry Bonds kind of hid that fact because he could hit the ball out of any ballpark, and did in the McCovey Cove on many occasions. But you're right, not an ideal hitter's paradise as Velez grounds out. They add yet another run to their lead, 13-0. Pablo Sandoval stays in and plays third. That moves Fontenot to short. Velez playing left, so Cody Ross is done. So Fontenot's the only starting player for the Giants still in the game, and he's not at his starting position. You got it all sorted out, partner, where everybody is?
I'm close.
Okay. Fly ball right field. Sherholtz retires Castro. Sam Fuld gets his first AB.
Must be redhead night here at the ballpark. We've seen a number of carrot tops here.
Giants have used 17 players tonight, and that includes only 2 pitchers. Deep to left, Velez backpedaling onto the warning track.
Certainly not what the Cubs were looking for in this series finale against the Giants tonight. But I guarantee you the guys that are in the ball game right now, including the guy at the plate, the guy that just made out, they're not taking anything for granted with these at-bats. Every opportunity, Sam Fuld and Bobby Scales and Micah Hoffpauir, all the guys up from the minor leagues, every chance they get to show what they can do, it's Game 7 of the World Series for them.
Orange head.
Heard that saying, a guy plays like his hair's on fire? There you go. Looks like his hair's on fire.
It's a Cubs fan, but with a Giants fuzzy wig or fuzzy visor, whatever you want to call it.
That would be a visor.
Ripped by the switch hitting Scales, 2-2. Milwaukee leading Florida 3-0 in the 6th up at Miller Park. Giovanni Gallardo shutting out the Marlins into the 6th on just 4 hits. Corey Hart with his 30th home run in the first inning. He's 3 for 3. They are underway at Arizona. Rockies and Diamondbacks scoreless in the top of the first. Jeff Francis and Ian Kennedy on the mound. Mota strikes out Scales. 13-0 to the 9th. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the Cubs.com shop. Accept no substitutes. Left-hander Sean Marshall against Mike Fontenot in the ninth. Inside, ball one. I have a dumb question for you.
No such thing as a dumb question.
Spring training is usually pretty rigid with rosters, you know, especially split squads. You kind of know where everybody's going. Occasionally get a few extra minor league guys. But in September, you know, as a manager, you get 25 guys. It's on your mind when you manage a game. You kind of know what you have on your bench. On September 1st, you had 3 or 4 guys, and maybe on the 10th, you had a couple more, and then maybe on the 17th, 2 more. So the roster kind of fluctuates. In a game like this, you really need your bench coach to make sure that you don't use too many guys, and all of a sudden you're pinch hitting here and there. Let's get Darren Ford. We don't have a shortstop for the ninth.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you need a bench coach, and you also need your pitching coach to really help contribute with all the extra arms you have available out of the bullpen. Yeah,
it's almost harder to manage a game like this in some odd way to get all the guys you want to get in.
It's just so tempting. You look at that lineup card and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 extra players available tonight for Bruce Bochy, and with the exception of a few guys, he's gotten them all into the game so far, but sure, he's had a big assist from Ron Wotus right there, number 23, his bench coach tonight, to let him know that all the positions are covered and we still have guys available in case somebody happens to get hurt late.
Burris thrown out.
Sign up for a subscription to Vineline, the official monthly magazine of the Chicago Cubs. Vineline offers exclusive insider coverage and photography all year long. Visit the Vineline blog at Cubs.com for extra content and order today. For those of you who like to keep track of the Cubs that are perhaps playing winter ball or chart the progress of some of the guys who are on the disabled list here at the end of the season, the Vineline is the perfect way to do it. Keep you up to date on everything that's going on.
Lefty against lefty. 1-0 to Ishikawa. Cubs minor league system had a great year this year. I think the Cardinals were the only system that had a better collective winning percentage among all minor league affiliates. Check swing ground ball picked up by Bobby Scales, who gets Ishikawa, and that's a quick 1, 2, 3. All 3 outs were on the ground for Marshall.
A little doubt about who it's going to be tonight. Juan Uribe, 2 for 4 in the ball game with 2 home runs in the second inning. One a grand slam, the other a 2-run shot.
It's 13-0 San Francisco. On the left, that's how the Giants started tonight. If you compare the left to the right, notice everybody's different. That never happens in the regular season. No. Until now. 18 players right there alone. Not one guy is in the position in which he started the game. Wellington Castillo against left-hander Dan Runsler. From Santa Monica, California, to UC Riverside. Lost in the shuffle tonight, not only the performance by Bumgarner, but a quick 1-2-3 by Guillermo Mota as the Giants bullpen. And we've seen just about everybody over the course of 3 games. They just keep mowing them down. Castillo hit his first career home run on Sunday in Florida. Knocked in 3. He doubled in that game. That was an unfortunate incident, which the bat broke and ended Tyler Colvin's season as he was running from third to home. He got hit by that bat. Castillo made his major league debut at San Francisco as he swings and misses. 1 away. Giants will hold serve tonight, and then while they're in the air flying to Denver, they'll try to keep up to date on the Rockies and the Diamondbacks and the Padres and the Dodgers. They will be tied with San Diego for first, with the Pods and Dodgers getting underway shortly. Matt Latos against Hiroki Kuroda.
Easier to keep track of the teams that you're either pursuing or are pursuing you in the pennant race nowadays than it used to be. A similar circumstance, you'd have to wait till you landed, maybe ask the pilot to radio ahead to the tower and see if they could get you some scores for those games. Maybe the bus driver flip on the radio to a local sports station and try to get some scores, but considerably easier nowadays.
Ishikawa going out along with Burris. It'll be the second baseman to make the play. 2 outs. Our producer tonight, Mark Brady. Our director, Skip Bellison. Associate producer, Tamara Anderson. Our stage manager in the booth, Christine Charbonneau. Our remote technical managers, Mark Harper. The senior executive producer of Comcast Sportsnet is Jim Corno Jr. We appreciate everyone's effort. As always, got some moving parts here as we get into hockey season. We have our director Dave Turner with us on this upcoming trip. Day game tomorrow as the Cardinals are in for the weekend, right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
Cardinals team that very uncharacteristically is 15 games under 500 on the road this year.
0-2 pitch, just missed 1-2. Don't forget, Bob, we've got a pizza party before the game.
Yippee.
The final home telecast on Comcast Sportsnet. So don't eat an early breakfast. We'll take care of you.
Well, it wouldn't matter if I ate a big breakfast. Kill some pizza.
2-2 to Hoffpower, swing and a miss. And that does it. The Giants take the rubber game. A blowout tonight. They got a bunch of runs early. 13-0 the final. Season series goes to San Francisco. They went 5 of 7. Next time we see the Giants will be in Cactus League action next spring. But they're hoping they're going to make the postseason. Well, they're tied for first now in the West. It's going to do it for our game coverage. Sylvania Post Game Live is coming up next. Final score, Giants 13.